Wiggle your fingers just a little bit. Because see, even in these small bit of functions, we participate in one of the greatest wonders of this world, living. What we might think is a garden variety experience that the Lord allows us to participate in, something that the angels might be envious of us of, is far more than that. Because see, in the last month, I've had to bury 6 of my family members. Before the month is over, I'll bury one more. Comfort a homeboy on the loss of his mother and console a young sister on the death of a daughter that never made it past birth. Take a second and listen to your heartbeat. I'm finding it hard to give strength to the very man who's given me strength my entire life. Because see, my daddy struggles with understanding how prayers work. Because the demon of a brain aneurysm that tried to steal the life of his brother was successful in taking the life of his best friend exactly 1 year ago. And he struggles with how prayers work, as if God doesn't hear them all, and he's able to get to the ones he can. Take a second to listen to your heartbeat. And in the time where he feels he should be able to lay his head on the shoulder of his wife, he finds it difficult, because he bills just ain't being paid at the same time, so he feels her love is residing in the time of recession, and he finds it hard to teach his sons how to love their women. Mama, I know you like to raise early Saturday morning to read your word, but see, Daddy works late Friday evening to early Saturday morning. Daddy, just because you were raised in a country that did not idealize romance does not mean that your wife does not have to hear I love you in more ways than you pay bills. Mama, you try so hard to learn how to love God, but you sometimes forget how it is to love a man. Take a second to listen to your heart. Listen to yourself inhale. Bless God on your exhale. Bat your eyes and wiggle your fingers just a little bit. My homeboy, from way, way back, came to help me teach young brothers and sisters how to be young brothers and sisters of God. And as soon as he arrived, we began to shoot the dish. I started clowning him how he used to get stuck with the ugly girls, me with the cute ones, how he experienced love at a young age, and I still haven't experienced it in my older one. And we laughed until the morning came. My children loved him. All for him to depart, because when we were laughing, we forgot to ask each other how each other's mothers were doing, just for him to return home to find his mother dead. True story. And how easily the devil tried to change a blessing into a heartache, because now I found myself arguing with the Father. How dare I keep a son from his mother's last minutes on earth until my phone rang. And he called me and reminded me that home is where the heart is, and she loved God more than anything, so how dare we keep her from her daddy any longer. Take a second to listen to your heart. Listen to yourself inhale. Bless God on your exhale. Bat your eyes just a little bit and wiggle your fingers. Because see, she was able to do it. She decided she could do what her mama did. Put her grandmother's 80-year-old hands into these 23-year-old palms. See, she was pregnant by a young boy who told her he loved her. But as soon as the equation turned 3, he made sure his presence was no absent. She decided she could do it. Started to deal with them cravings of watermelon and lemonade and Oreo cookies the first month. Got the nerve to tell her mother the second month, dealt with the backlash of her family the third month. Decided she would do your hair just like mama did it when she learned you were a girl the fourth month. Painted your room the color of stardust gold the fifth month. Decided that she would be able to get to school, get you to daycare centers, and love you like nothing ever happened the sixth month. Recited your name to her belly 100 times every evening. Blessed, Neka, Ibukwe. Blessed, Neka, Ibukwe. She wanted the first thing that you learned was who you were. All to do with that pain come early the 8th month. Found herself sitting in that cold hospital room by herself, wishing that the hand of that young boy was there. She was alone. Prayed that there was more family members out in the lobby, but she was alone. All to do with the doctor coming telling her that you had gone. Alone. And right then, them tears welled in the back of her eyes, and she looked to heaven and cried out, "Why not take me? Let my baby girl live." And right then, God kissed her on the top of her head, felt the warmth of his soul move all the way down to the bottoms of her feet, and she heard him clearly as he whispered in her ear, "But I birthed him. It's still living." And what that man left you with, I needed to die. Oh, what a hard pill to swallow. And now your daughter sits on Granddaddy God's knee, holding the hand of Uncle Jesus, looking down at Mama, begging her never to deal in foolishness, because the strength that's in you should now regurgitate and teach other young girls that laying on a bed does not teach you love. Be strong. You see, take a second. Listen to your heart. Listen to yourself inhale. Bless God on your exhale. Bat your eyes. Put your fingers just a little bit. Because even in these small bit of functions, we participate in one of the greatest wonders of this world, living. And though we might think of the garden variety experience that God allows us to participate in, something that the angels might be envious of us of, it's far more than that. Because in the last month, I've had to bury 6 of my family. Before the month is over, I'll bury one more. Comfort a homeboy on the loss of his mother and console a young sister on the death of her daughter that never made it past birth. Take a second and listen.